Shana Tova. Good morning, and on behalf of the entire Board of Trustees, welcome. It's so great to see so many familiar faces and new ones as well. If we haven't met, my name is Larry Brooks, and I don't want you to think I'm bad at math, but this is my third year of a 2-year term as president of Shir Shalom. I'm joined here today by my wife, Jessica, my 2 daughters, Abigail, who's 14, Madison, who's 10, and my parents, Bonnie and Randy. I'm so glad we're all here today together. Rabbi, as usual, this has been a meaningful and spiritual High Holy Days. Thank you so much for what you do leading up to the High Holy Days, Yom Kippur itself, and throughout the year. I think everyone knows that the rabbi wears multiple hats. Of course, he wears the hat of our chief spiritual leader, but he also frequently wears the hat of an operations lead. And the hat that I appreciate the most is the hat of our chief visionary, because that is the one that will sustain us for generations to come. So thank you, Rabbi, for all the hats that you wear and all that you do throughout the year. It is very much appreciated. I also must thank the rabbi's wife, Ashley, because we all know how difficult it is to balance family and work and everything that life throws at us in between. And Ashley does so in such a way that still enables us to work with the rabbi during inopportune times. Ashley, I think about this every time I'm on a phone call at 7, 8, or 9 p.m. Thank you so much for what you do for our sacred community. At the beginning of this year, I had shared that our #1 priority by far is to hire a new cantor. I can now say, through the leadership of Terry and Ellie and a host of volunteers, that it is by far our biggest accomplishment, one that I am really proud about. I know it hasn't always been easy, particularly on the housing front, so thank you to you and Mark for your perseverance and commitment to our community. But the feedback I've heard has just been fantastic. So I know that I speak for many of us when I say we are blessed to have you and really look forward to what lies ahead. I've learned one thing for certain in my 3 years, which is that this synagogue is well run because we have a fantastic staff. And I'd like to acknowledge them here today, if they wouldn't mind all standing. Allison Bellio and Kim France as administrative leaders, Patrick Berry leading security and facilities, Eric Liga leading finance and operations, Kathy Deutschman leading our religious school Biachad program, and Sarah Denyer leading ECC. If you wouldn't all mind standing, thank you so much for what you do. I mean this with the utmost sincerity. Your work here is really valued and very much appreciated. Thank you. Our beautiful High Holy Days is made possible because we have a wonderful ritual committee. I'd like to thank them. Joe Ellis for helping with Jewish Journeys, Joe Niola and Lori Dubin for arranging Rosh Hashanah lunch, Marty Weisberg as our Hada Esher, and Michael Saltpeter for coordinating the Torah chanters. Thank you so much for making this observance as beautiful as it is. I'd also like to thank our Biachad school teachers and our ECC teachers. You make our student programs wonderful. Thank you so much for your efforts. There's also many volunteers that make Shir Shalom operate effectively. I'd like each one of them to please stand when I call your name. If you're a Board of Trustee member, can you please stand and give a quick wave? Thank you so much for being a Board of Trustee member. If you're a committee, can you please remain standing for a brief minute? If you're a committee chair, can you also please stand and join the trustees? And if you're on a committee, can you also join? If you've served as a Board of Trustee member in past years, or a committee chair, or been on a committee in past years, could you also please stand and join them? Or if you've ever donated your time to Congregation Shir Shalom, could you also please stand to be acknowledged? Thank you so much for all that you do for Congregation Shir Shalom. It is very much appreciated. When the nominating committee and Rabbi first asked if I would be president, I did what most people first do. I thought, the time commitment is quite a bit. But the second thing that I thought about was, I gotta give the High Holy Day appeal. And it's not that I didn't want to public speak, it's that I really didn't want to ask everyone to donate, because I always felt like dues were expensive as they are, and people will give what they can. But then I became familiar with the financial model of Shir Shalom. Not necessarily the financials, but I came familiar with the financial model. And it's based on one of equity, not equality, not on things being equal, but it's based on equity. And I'd like to tell a brief story to illustrate my point. Abigail, Madison, Jessica, and I go to a baseball game. It's a minor league baseball game. We buy tickets behind the home run fence. The home run fence is about 5 feet tall, and when you arrive at the game, there's a lot of people that bought tickets like this. And they hand everyone a stool, one stool, so that they can see over the fence and watch the game. So Madison takes her stool, she's 10, and she tries to look over the fence, but she can't quite see over the fence. Abigail and Jessica take their stool, and the stool is perfect for them. They can look over the fence and watch the game. I take my stool and I butt it up against the fence, and I don't really need the stool at all. I can see the game just fine as it is. They're practicing equality. They want everyone to have the same resource. But unfortunately, it doesn't work because Madison still can't watch the game. So I hand Madison my stool, and now she has 2 stools, and she can see over the fence and watch the game. Abigail and Jessica have their 1 stool, and they can watch the game, and I don't have a stool at all. This is equity. This is about everyone getting the resources they need to participate, to watch the game. And this is exactly what we strive for at Congregation Shir Shalom. We strive for equity. We strive for everyone to be able to participate regardless of financial situations. And I hope you will all join me today in enabling everyone at Shir Shalom to be able to participate. I hope you'll join me in making this an equitable environment and community. There are 3 ways that you can participate today. The first way is that you can give a meaningful amount to our endowment. This could change the trajectory of Shir Shalom for generations to come. An endowment gift can allow us to potentially lower the cost of community commitment over time, which means more people will join, which means revenues will go up, which means we'll be able to provide more services to congregants, which means we'll have more congregants that will join, which means revenues will go up. You can see the flywheel happen on an endowment gift. The second way that you can participate is to helping offset our annual operating budget. This is critical. This is what the cards were for when you first came in. This is all about equity. This is all about giving up your stool for someone else so that they can see over the baseball game, so that they can participate here at Shir Shalom. And in the same way I was quick to give up my stool so Madison can participate, I hope you will all do that for fellow congregants. The third way that you can participate is doing just that, by participating. We are one community. Participation will show that exactly. The rabbi shared with me that when the Israelites were conducting a census, they would each contribute a half a shekel to be counted. I hope you will all contribute at least a half a shekel to be counted, to be part of our community, to offer what you can so that others can also participate. The time to give is now. So the ushers are going to come down the aisles. You each got a card, and there's a sticker on each one. If you can put your sticker on the amount that you're willing to give, please know that every gift is appreciated. No matter how you choose to participate, I want to say thank you. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, and from my family and I personally, I wish you a year filled with happiness and health, and I wish you a year filled with sweetness and peace. L'shana tova.